Welcome back to Interview with a Bothan. Unlike Corran Horn, neither of us spend an uncomfortable amount of time talking about the viability of cross-cultural dating while on a recon mission for a revolutionary group. I am Lou, and this is Lenny.
Hello.
And we're your unprepared hosts for this journey through the taking of Coruscant. While we try to keep the spoilers to a minimum, my distaste for Corran Horn knows no bounds, and I cannot guarantee I'll be able to keep my mouth shut.
It's a challenge.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. There's a nice touch of blush on the sky from the sun going down, and it's pretty.
Well, we haven't seen the sun.
Yeah. How are you?
Better than I was the last time you asked me this question, which was 4 hours ago.
Well, that's good.
I think it's because I, for a brief moment, forgot about everything that's going on right now. No, my uncle's texting me about my IRA.
Oh.
Yeah, for some reason. Just living the dream.
Helpful things, or?
I don't know. I don't fucking look at it.
Yeah.
Well, now you've seen Robot Chicken Star Wars.
Yes.
Or at least part of it.
Yeah.
And you've seen monologues from Northern Exposure.
Yes.
So continuity from... How do you feel about both of those things?
I thought they were outstanding.
They're good.
They were really good.
If you ever want to watch a TV show that's weirdly about Carl Jung...
I love a surprise Carl Jung cameo.
There's also an entire episode where they do Freudian analysis. There's also an episode about the Soviet Union.
Gotta love it.
Because the show came out in 1998, but it's very good.
My dad got mad at me for saying that I loved the Cold War.
But the Cold War's so cool.
Yeah, he was like, you can say the Cold War is interesting, but I was there for the Cold War. It was not fun. There's nothing to love.
God, I wish the Cuban Missile Crisis had actually happened, so Tony would have gotten used to
then I wouldn't be here.
The duck and cover. Well, none of us would be here.
That's true. This is all about me.
We'd all be dead.
Yeah.
You lived in a major metropolitan area. I lived by a incredibly large Air Force base. Neither of us would exist.
Yeah. R.I.P. Boston.
Today, we're covering Wedge's Gamble, which was published in May 1996. Written by Michael A. Stackpole. And we're continuing on our Bantam era grind, I guess, for this episode, due to the fact that, I guess, some insider trading, we're recording these on the same day. Rogue Squadron and Wedge's Gamble. I did the plot overview for this one, which means I have to do it, which I normally don't. I do edit them sometimes. I didn't edit yours for Rogue Squadron, though.
Thanks. Or, I'm sorry. Or
no,
whichever.
It was fine.
Cool, yay.
Yeah.
No,
So, what happens in this book? I will tell you. Sorry, this is just, it feels wrong. It feels out of order.
You're doing incredible, sweetie.
Fuck you. Wedge's Gamble opens a few weeks after the Second Battle of Borleas, where we left off at the end of Rogue Squadron. As we're reintroduced to the members of Rogue Squadron, the Rogues deal with the warlord Zinj, causing problems, and Alliance Command's assertion that the flight group must go to Coruscant for a mission that will inevitably, enable the Alliance to take the capital planet. This is interspersed with the interpersonal relationships between the Rogues, the Alliance, Intelligence, and High Command. Parallel to this, we continue to follow Kirtan Lore and his relationships with Izan Izard, Imperial Intelligence, and one General Avir Daracote, the semi-disgraced mad scientist who's working on a bioweapon that only impacts non-human populations. Izard's demands of Daracote and Lore border on the absurd, as her requirements for the virus are that it is airborne, lethal, highly transmissible, and most importantly, that it does not mutate in a way that would make humans susceptible to it. Wedge Antilles, for some reason, turns into a fanboy over the Alliance High Command, which is interesting considering he is the only person to survive both Death Star runs. In response to this, Leia Organa gives him a dressing down over his reluctance to use her first name when speaking to her. To be fair, I agree with her, because they have been coworkers for like a decade at this point. It's kind of weird. Wedge continues on his quest to become the resident matchmaker of Rogue Squadron, a quest only rivaled by Corran Horn's inability to see 5 feet in front of his whole thing. The majority of Wedge's Gamble takes place on Coruscant, a planet invented by Timothy Zahn, as the Rogues are inserted by Alliance Intelligence to gather data that will aid in taking the planet. At this point, the operation to take Coruscant is going to happen at like a later undisclosed date. Before they can go on this mission, however, first they must go to the penal colony of Kessel to conduct a prisoner swap. This swap is to release several members of Black Sun, a crime syndicate, and is stipulated on their agreement to work with the Alliance to undermine Imperial prospects on Coruscant. The Rogues are split up. Corran and Arisi, Wedge and Pash Kraken, son of Aaron Kraken, and Gavin, Nora, Van, Rasati, and everybody else. And then they're subsequently taken to Coruscant. Corran and Asiri meet Winter, the love of my life, who we do learn is Tycho Selchu's partner. Wedge and Pash work with Corran Horn's old co-worker, Aiella Wasiri, and the remainder of the rogues are sent to gauge the rebellious sentiment of Invissec, the ghetto for the planet's non-human population. The rogues cross paths, namely because Corran chooses not to have sex with Arisi.
So true, though.
It is. It's literally the reason. And eventually they do all come together again. Corran Horn continues to be the racist uncle at a family gathering, going as far as telling Gavin Darklighter to, and I quote, think about the kind of children he wants, end quote, when asked about the viability of interspecies relationships. Unable to kill his own mind cop, even though he was driven out of Coruscant years prior by Kirtan Lore, Corran suspects that the spy in Rogue Squadron is none other than our favorite Alderaanian Nepo baby, Tycho Selchu. After the whole Arisi, I just need some air bit, Corran ends up in a seedy bar and swears that he sees Tycho talking to Corran's number one op, Kirtan Lore. When he gets a hold of Wedge, which it takes a lot of effort to be fair, he is informed that Tycho is presumed dead due to a raid on their previous base. This reveals that Coruscant officers were not well trained in regards to infiltration and counterintelligence, because if they were, he would be significantly more wary of the hordes of women throwing themselves at him. As the mission continues, it's revealed that Tycho actually is not dead. Wedge just wanted to maintain OPSEC.
Corran cannot fathom this.
Corran does not understand maintaining OPSEC. The group is informed that they will need to enable the invasion of Coruscant as soon as possible, which does lead to the realization that Gavin has a crush on the Bothan Asir Sylar, who may or may not have accused him of being a human supremacist prior to the raid on the alien Combine. To counter this, Aiella Wasiri tells Mirax and Gavin about the time Corran slept with Churtle Rulawar, a Solonian. Corran is weirdly concerned that this will impact Mirax's perception of him, but this may be caused by his inability to conceive of anyone being less racist than he is. On the Imperial side, Izan Izard's goal, and by extension Empire's, is to give Imperial center to the Alliance as the disease starts to spread. Ultimately, Izard is banking on the fact that the undue amount of treatment required to overcome the illness would create splinters between human and not human populations that are represented among the Alliance. This fracturing would, quote, destroy the rebellion, allowing Empire to retake Coruscant at a later date, after the non-human population is all but exterminated. This is somewhat undermined by Kirtan Lore's inability to mind his motherfucking business, in addition to the rogues' change in directive, as they're now tasked with taking down the planetary shields. Izard is perturbed that this invasion is going to take place ahead of the plan that she has concocted in her mind palace. And this is nothing on the fact that Deracote is unable to create Ebola with the transmissibility of a coronavirus. She berates Lore on several occasions and ends up shutting him out from communicating with the spy in Rogue Squadron. Her belief that he is not thoughtful enough does not deter him once she promises him the world in exchange for letting the planet fall to the Alliance. Rogue Squadron commandeers a construction droid to aid in their infiltration of the planetary shield generators. After they take down the inner shields, we learn that the Darklighters can control the weather, as Gavin recounts this idea that he heard from his uncle on Tatooine. The group successfully creates a supercell from the planet's orbital mirrors, which is kind of based.
Mm-hmm.
Izard retreats to the physical manifestation of her mind palace, the Lusankia prison complex, the Star Wars equivalent of a CIA black site. The rogues successfully take down the planetary shields, and the Alliance is able to take the planet. During this, Corran discovers that his Z-95 headhunter was compromised and crashes. Corran is MIA, and to be honest, presumed dead. The bittersweet taking of Coruscant is completed, and the Alliance is now tasked with the everyday operations of the capital planet. I did not cover everything.
Yes.
There's so much that happens in
There
this
is so
book.
much.
What are your thoughts, feelings, and or concerns?
Also, Corran wakes up and he is into Lusankia.
I forgot that because I don't care about him.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, important point.
Because I think that's important because what's-her-face, Iceheart, immediately is like, you're short. I thought you'd be taller, low-key.
How tiny is Arisi?
She's taller than him.
Is she?
Yeah, because,
Okay.
yeah, Corran always has to lean up to kiss her, and that's, like, always
Well, he's probably
emphasized.
like 5'6" to 5'8", right?
Teeny tiny, I say.
Well, that's like
5'6". I'm just making fun of myself.
no, yeah,
like
and you would be perfect to put
I'd
in a
be
plane.
such a good fighter pilot.
We could put you in a Tomcat,
Mhm.
and you would be the perfect size.
That reminds me, sorry, I showed my dad who Benson Boone was because my mom wanted to show us this SNL skit that makes fun of Benson Boone, and he was like, who the fuck is Benson Boone? And then I was like, this is what Benson Boone is. And he was like, wow, what a great showman. And then my mom went on this thing where she was just like, wow, he's such a perfect size. He's like my mom's cat, who's just so compact. And I was like, that's really interesting, Mom. And now she calls that cat Benson Boone.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's great. You
I have thoughts. I do have thoughts.
Did you riff your thoughts? Because I didn't.
I didn't riff my thoughts. I can't riff like you can. I know myself.
Can I riff?
You can riff.
Not particularly.
That's ridiculous. Chahola is mentioned. That's fun because, as we know, if you listened to whatever the fuck the episode is where I talk about trees for like 10 minutes.
Command.
Yep. Banger stuff. I think it's Last Command because that's when they find out that Chahola trees are Delta Source.
Chahola trees.
Yeah, Chahola trees.
Not to be confused with Sheila.
Indeed. God damn it, Timothy Zahn. But we know that these are spyware because we read Heir to the Empire, and Heir to the Empire was first. So if anyone read that, they're reading this and they're like, oh shit, spyware, rutro. But it's interesting because for those in the know, that the groupings of the Chahola trees being described as providing privacy to those using information kiosks, that is not what they are doing. They are around information kiosks, so
they know what's going on.
They're listening. The trees are listening to you, especially when you speak Vietnamese. Sorry, because
exclusively
call back.
The trees speak Vietnamese.
Indeed.
Maybe. You don't have to speak Vietnamese.
I guess that's true. Sorry, I just want to do a callback to the...
I read a book really recently about the Vietnam War.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's that?
It's kind of glazing Quebec. It was really weird.
I don't know. I was also on the hunt for more information about Kessel, and in the sources for information about Kessel on Wikipedia, there's a link to like Star Wars Kids, the Scholastic magazine, and I wanted to know more about that, so I googled Star Wars Kids, and then I discovered the Star Wars Kid, from which I didn't know about that because I don't know about most things that happened on the internet, but it was fun for me because there's this line on this TV show Veep that I quite like. Where one of the characters says, I miss when the internet was just Altavista and that little Star Wars kid. And also then I realized that the Star Wars kid is referenced in Arrested Development.
He was bullied relentlessly.
Yes, he was. I read that on the internet too. And yeah.
No, yeah. It was good. It's good. It's a fun time. I love when people have fun.
What is that in relation to?
The Star Wars kid.
Yeah. No.
Don't bully children.
Don't bully children.
Whether it be the Star Wars kid or
anyone
Jake Lloyd.
Or having a good time. No, on the Wikipedia page for it, it talks about like his cyberbullying, but it also talks about...
No, he was like allegedly like bullied at school.
Yeah, but he was also bullied at school. He was also cyberbullied. It was like everything. Like he was suicidal because of that, which that makes sense. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. But then there's also like he did also gain like a cult following. Like people like signed a petition to like get him in the prequel movies, which I thought was interesting.
Love that for him.
Yeah.
I
hope he's doing all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another just got to shout out the Thrawn mentions because I'm Thrawn-pilled. We'll never not be, I guess, even if we're not talking about Thrawn books, I'll just be this way forever.
You're like that girl, that woman that I saw.
I'm like that, indeed.
Who's now really obsessed with Anakin Skywalker. That's you with Thrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, oh my god. What? He's evil? Yes.
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 No, what? He's evil and compelling? What's going on right now? Oh my god.
It's like, to be fair,
what's happening with my...
Movie Anakin. I guess she read the book first.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the Revenge of the Sith book.
Crazy.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Movie, I like Hayden Christensen.
Mm-hmm.
A baddie. Movie Anakin, not very compelling. Movie Anakin, kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But hot.
Yeah.
Just like Hayden Christensen in the hit 2003 classic Shattered Glass.
Banger.
Where he's also really weird and off-putting.
He is really weird and off-putting in that. I love it. Yeah, so someone is assigned to work under Thrawn as a way to get him to shape up or ship out. And by ship out, I mean die. Because Major Wharton was responsible for Bror Jace's death, not capture. And Isard is pissed about this because she wanted to interrogate him or like make him a sleeper cell agent. An actual sleeper cell agent in Rogue Squadron. Instead of there not being one in Rogue Squadron because Tycho Selchu did nothing wrong. And there's also, you didn't do anything wrong if you're a sleeper cell agent. It's not your fault. Anyway, goddamn. But it's also interesting because I don't know. Where was Thrawn in 7ABY? I don't know. I was under the impression that we all had no idea where he was, but I guess it's probably just that the Alliance had never heard of him. Also, they mentioned that his ship is the Inexorable, so I just wonder...
I'm looking it up.
Yeah? Where was Thrawn in 7ABY?
I'm looking at the Chimera, specifically. Go to Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know it was made at Kua?
I did not.
It's an Imstar 2.
Cool.
Which means it's a mile long.
Wow.
Which it does not look that big.
No.
Allegedly, Pelion was there before Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
At some point before the Battle of Endor, the Chimera was seen undergoing weapons testing along with the Inexorable, the Nemesis, and the Stormhawk in the Corvida system. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then at Endor, it was under Horst Strage, who died.
Sounds Dutch. Horst.
He was killed by an ion cannon shot.
Damn.
Yeah, so Pelion predates Thrawn.
Fascinating.
Thrawn's flagship. No idea.
Cool.
He just got it.
Happens.
Admiral Pritik briefly commanded the fleet while at Anaj, but did not remain in command for reasons still unknown. This is presumably, at least in part, to the authority vested in Chimera itself. Chimera remained under Pelion's command during the tumultuous years that followed. This is the Legends page, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And under Pelion's leadership, it came to be regarded as one of the Empire's most efficiently run Star Destroyers, which is an interesting complication from Thrawn doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
This record for efficiency may have been what made Grand Admiral Thrawn choose the Chimera to be his flagship. Thrawn immediately left his mark on the ship, having a luxury entertainment suite used once by Pelion's predecessor to be turned into a meditation chamber and command room. So yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Thank you for looking that up.
And the Pelion's the reason they're all like that.
It's fascinating.
It's not even Thrawn. Thrawn's
Wow.
just a guy.
He's literally just a guy.
Literally just a guy. And Pelion's like, wow.
Yeah. I love that his like mark on the ship is I made this into a meditation chamber and place where I look at art. Good stuff. Love that. Yeah, well, no, because Wingali doesn't exist. But
now he does.
Yippee!
I love him.
I do love Wingali. Kind of, I don't know, I just feel like the main reference to like what like unifies like Corellian culture, at least in these books, is just fuck the odds, and I find that entertaining. Like, I just want to know how that became a thing, where they're like, everyone just agreed, I'm Corellian, I don't give a shit about the chances. I guess just Han Solo said that once.
And now everyone
says it.
Yeah.
But I think that's great. Also, we'll get more into this, but there's never a wrong time to shit talk Corran Horn. He does not have a moral compass. I don't know, because which really like is clear when he's thinking about how betrayed he is that Tycho might be a spy, which, mind you, as we've said, is something that no one else thinks except for General Psalm, and he thinks to himself about how he had placed Tycho into that august category with his father, Gil Bastra, and Wedge Antilles, which it's like, I think it's kind of weird to like meet the people later in your life, or I don't know. My dad's never died yet. He will.
He's like 70.
73.
73.
This week.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
73 the other day.
Literally. Yeah.
Did you tell him I said happy birthday?
I did. He said thank you.
I wish he didn't.
What do you want him to say?
Nothing. I want him to stare awkwardly. He's never met me.
He just was like, let me do an impression of how he said thank you. He was like, thank you? Yeah.
I want to meet him. I want to meet him in person.
You won't like him.
I would beat his ass, and you know it.
Yeah, and I'm scared of that. The conflict.
Verbally.
Well, I know.
Intellectually.
Yeah. No, I think it would be great. There needs
Not
to be...
for you.
I know.
But for everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, there needs to be someone... Moving on. I was going on a rant about... fucking, this is the cursed thing about talking... Okay.
What is the cursed thing about talking?
Yep.
Is it because I keep interrupting you?
No.
Okay.
It's because I went on a tangent that involved me mentioning my dad, and that was the first mistake.
Oh, now you're thinking about what your dad would think about this?
No.
Good.
God. No. Yeah.
If he makes it to 80, you should just send him a link to the podcast.
That'd be really funny. Happy birthday, Dad.
Did you know I've been doing a Star Wars podcast for
7 years?
You're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
We talk about you a lot.
Yeah. God. Anyway, but on the note of like having like a father that looms large in your life, I just feel like Corran Horn is too damn old to like be this okay with like continuing to internalize things he's learned from his dad, and like and also too damn old to like look for father figures in men who are like a couple years older than him. Like, That's just odd. And it just like, and what he's doing, which like I think he like reflects on, because again, he's like weirdly a little bit too self-aware, is like his dad provided answers and like a moral compass for him. And now that his dad is dead and like Gil Bastra is dead, like he needs that from other people, because like evidently he doesn't have like a strong enough of an internal moral compass to be like okay with what he is doing, because he still feels like some amount of like weird guilt about being in the rebellion, which like I don't.
Back to him being a fucking op.
Literally. So I don't know. I think it's just really fucking weird that he thinks so much about his dad and whether or not his dad would approve of what he does. And I think it's really weird that like shit bleeds into how he feels about Tycho, and that like he has such a strong emotional reaction to the fact that Tycho like might be compromised because just like he has daddy issues.
Yeah.
I feel like he should not put that shit on Tycho, especially like flinging accusations around like has an impact on people. Like
Yes.
Tycho gets fucking like put like on trial because of
Not this book.
not he at the end of this book.
Okay.
They say Tycho's been arrested on suspicion of killing Corran Horn, which
Would be funny. And I would say acceptable.
if he no
Like, I would be like, well, that's because you kept talking shit, dude. Like,
literally
this is literally your fault.
yeah
Corran Horn never gets to the finding out part of fucking around and finding out.
and that pisses
Even
me
though
off.
he's in a Salvadorian torture prison. It makes no sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, just shout out, I love Earl Korg. I really liked the scene when they're all freaking out about how they're going to get into this chamber, and Oral's like, I don't breathe, dude. Send me in. I don't need a gas
I got
mask.
an exoskeleton.
Yeah. And they're like, but if you don't breathe, how do you talk? And he's like, through gases in my chambers. Yeah. Yeah. Those are my thoughts and feelings. What are yours?
Winter, my beloved. I really liked this book.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start out by saying that. Not to keep harping on Corran Horn, because I have an entire section of things I don't like about Corran Horn. I think the way that Stackpole like utilizes the word alien and how Corran Horn refers. Corran. I just need to call him Corran, because if I call him Corran Horn, I'm going to call him corn as in the vegetable. Or the
Grain.
grain. It's basically a vegetable.
Vegetable is a concept.
Bread is basically a vegetable.
It's true.
And so is beer. And potato vodka.
Yes.
But, like, Corran, when talking about non-human sentience, uses the term alien in a way that is only used by Imperials. And I think it kind of stresses how Imperial-minded he is and how racist he is, basically. And I find that really fascinating. Also, I think it's crazy. Nobody cares about Aniri Forge very obviously being abused. Maybe they would care if she wasn't from Kessel.
Yeah.
Also, not to shit on Wedge. He is so insecure.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the Alliance is like, Wedge, we love you. Wedge, come be a general. Wedge, please. And then he's like, no one even knows who I am. Man. And it's like,
how does he even square that
I
if
don't
like
know.
he's been like put on a propaganda tour, you know?
and is the only person to survive both Death Star runs in a starfighter.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
Motherfucker's got 2 Death Stars painted on his X-Wing.
Yeah.
And you're like, people don't know who I am. That is a fucking lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like, everyone except Psalm and Corran, but Corran does not matter in this case, because I'm talking, like, command structure. Everyone but Psalm seems fine with Tycho, literally just because Wedge is like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
King, that requires so much clout. And I just cannot fathom how he does not see how influential he is, like, not broadly, but, like, within Alliance High Command. Like, his opinions carry weight, and he just does not seem to understand that.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
And he is well known enough, he has to put
Just to grow facial hair.
facial hair and prosthetics.
Yeah.
It's like, bitches know who you are.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do a galaxy-wide propaganda tour, babes.
Like, kind of crazy.
Yeah. Also, like, I loved the scene when, like, Leia pulls him aside when, like, I don't know. I feel like
Sorry.
I might be misremembering because I've listened to this book, like, 3 times, but the last 2 times were, like, months ago, and then I re-listened to it on the bus this week, but I was, like, in and out of falling asleep, so I might be kind of misremembering. But I also feel like, not only does she give him a dressing down for, like, being insecure about being on first name basis with her, but she's also kind of, like, interested in whether or not he's met someone. Is that in this?
Yeah, like, they seem to be
They're tight.
friends.
Yeah.
And he, like, won't call her by her first name. That would piss me the fuck off.
Yeah, right?
I'd be like, stop calling me Your Highness.
Yeah.
Everyone from that planet is dead.
So true.
Except my weird nanny and her husband, who may or may not be your best friend.
Yeah. And I forget where else I was going with that.
They do seem tight. I don't.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not understand why he is the way that he is.
No. I mean, like, I like, sometimes people just randomly have low self-esteem. That happens. But
Yeah, but like,
he's got,
we didn't take out 2 Death Stars.
yeah.
When we got low self-esteem, it's like, well,
My paper's bad.
My paper got rejected.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't think my advisor likes me that much because she didn't tell me she was going on sabbatical. I do think Wedge's reflections on his ability to find romance are interesting, but
Has
I think
he tried?
No. God.
Seems to be busy.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think there's like more of that in like the next book when he grows a crush on Ayla Wasiri. But
You're gonna love
This
Starfighters of Adamar.
yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is that when he fucks a bird? Or dates a bird?
Her name is Queezux. I know
Nice.
that much. Okay, yeah. And I feel like all of my other thoughts. Did you like my list of why I hate Corran Horn?
I really liked your list of why you hate Corran Horn. It's so true.
You want to do first, King? No, we'll be
Um,
recording.
I think I want to hear what you have to say about Wedge's gender.
Oh,
Because I think
okay.
that'll be short or long.
It'll be very short.
Yeah.
So, back to Corellian gender ideals,
Mhm.
which I guess is the only thing I know about at this point.
Mhm.
It's all I think about and talk about ever, and it's totally not ruining my life, and I haven't thought about it every day for the past 3 years. But I've thought a lot about Corellian womanhood in both the pre-Disney and post-Disney continuities. And you don't get as much about masculinity, probably because it's just Harrison Ford.
Mhm.
And, like, yeah, he's obviously acting, but he's just like, look at him, you know?
Yeah.
But I just, like, can't. So, like, the quote specifically, thank you for moving the highlights.
Mhm.
Wedge realized that being forced to wait amid racks of women's clothing samples made him uneasy because of more than his gender making him feel utterly out of place there. King, have you never been shopping for clothing before?
It seems like it.
Because presumably at some point, okay, so you get picked up, your parents get blown up in a gas explosion. Because he grew up on a gas station, which, a yee motherfucker,
Mhm.
for sure. Like, Booster never took you to buy clothes. Nobody ever took you to buy clothes. You never went shopping with Mirax, your surrogate sister. She never went and bought clothes.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Like, there are very traditional, and like, they're not one-to-one, kind of the way that we would presume traditional gender roles to exist. But yeah, there's a very specific kind of gender that exists in Corellian society. And unfortunately, a lot of this information was invented after the fact.
Mhm.
Or maybe before the fact. I don't know. Brian Daley, like, his Han Solo books are incorporated into AC Crispin's trilogy, but Crispin's trilogy, there's like a whole thing where Han Solo meets Bria Theron's family. And there's this kind of like tension between her parents in which, you know, her father is totally fine with her like dicking around and being a teenager or whatever, but her mother wants her daughter to like traditionally get married in the traditional Corellian way, and and she's not enough of a lady, which is this whole like rebellious thing against her mother, is why she like ends up dipping the fuck out and joining a cult because she like wants to get rid of her not earthly possessions, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But Wedge is a fucking boomer.
Mhm.
Wedge is such a boomer. And yeah, I just find the way that his masculinity is constructed to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's so different than Corran's. Even though I think Corran would have a very similar reaction
Mhm.
in a very different way.
Yeah.
Where he'd be like, wow, I can't. What if Mirax?
Yeah, I know.
And then he like, I don't know, starts crying because he can't imagine Mirax ever having sex for some reason. And that
Apparently.
leads us into,
Yeah.
there's so much sex in this book.
It's fascinating.
Lenny now understands because I guess you had never seen Family Guy.
I had never seen Family Guy.
Is that there's no sex on TV anymore because Seth MacFarlane pointed it out in the theme song of Family Guy.
Yes.
And there's not really like sex in books like that anymore.
No. Except
Like
for
they don't fuck in the Thrawn books.
they do not fuck in the Thrawn books.
You could. No one's stopping you. but we can talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it in relation to Disney because I have an entire thing I need to write about that.
Yes. Yeah.
So, sex.
No. Yeah.
Noara Vina Rosati?
Yeah.
Corran Horn and that fucking otter?
Gavin and Asir Sylar.
They have not had sex yet.
Well,
They're
no,
just
but he's
sexual
concerned
tensioning.
about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Corran, not, and Arisi almost.
And he has to go.
Not for her lack of trying.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not put off by that.
By how bad she wants to, like...
She's, like, concerningly wants to fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, it's off-putting.
Yeah, no, even, like, when he rejects her in that moment, and then she's like, no, I don't understand this as, like, an overall rejection, because you'll change your mind. Which is, like, wow.
Weird and rape culture-y.
Yeah, low-key.
Damn, Arisi. No means no.
Yeah.
Respect Corran's wishes.
Literally.
Do you want to start? And then
Well, that's crazy. Corran Horn also couldn't fuck because he was thinking about his dead dad. Sorry.
Wow, you're just like Mirax Tarek.
I'm literally just like Mirax. No, and that I'm just like Arisi, which I don't want to be like Arisi.
Well, she's really hot.
Well, I think I'm hot in a Mirax Tarek way, not in a Arisi Delera way, where you're just sort of like, oh yeah, okay. Your personality's really nice though.
I don't think you would. Oh, Mirax is hot.
Mirax is hot, but Corran, I feel like
Mirax is hot in the way that like comic book fucking what's her face? Governor of Lethal.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Arinda
Arinda
Price. Comic book Arinda Price is hot.
I know what you mean. Was that a noise my body made? Did you hear
No, that was my hard drive.
Because like my stomach gurgled. My stomach gurgled internally at the same time that happened. And I was like, no way.
No, it's transcoding stuff. Okay, so you have to start with the sex thing.
Oh yeah, so anyway, so of the Star Wars book I have read so far, which granted is not many, this is indeed the one with the most overt references to sex.
How many Star Wars books have you read?
I don't know.
We can count.
I've read 9
plus
Shatterpoint, the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, and like 6 X-Wing books. So that's
you haven't read Iron Fist?
7 X-Wing books. So 7 plus 2. So I've read 18 Star Wars books.
I've read 18 Star Wars books. How do you feel? With that information?
I have a thesis to write, man. This is fascinating.
Have you made any progress?
Yeah.
So you're fine.
Yeah. No, I've realized that if I just start writing, it actually isn't that bad. Anyway, but in terms of like the amount of ink spilled over Star Wars, by ink I mean pixels typed, like the ratios don't add up, if that makes sense. Anyway, I feel fine about this. Okay. But anyway, so I wrote this in the notes that this was the like most sex I'd ever read in a Star Wars book. And then Lou...
I was also in the Google Doc that we take our notes in.
Mm-hmm. And then highlighted that and then put a link to the Wikipedia page for reproduction, which I thought was... I love that there's like a Wikipedia page for like damn near everything.
There's a Wikipedia page for breasts because the top 2 search things were sex and breasts.
Amazing. There's also a Wikipedia page for tea. And apparently, according to that Wikipedia page, Emperor Palpatine and Wedge Antilles were both known to like tea, but there was no source for that.
Weird.
So I think that's kind of bullshit, but I thought that was funny also.
That is
so reproduction and breasts.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not looking up titties. But I was looking up
Your
sex.
Honor, I was innocent. I was not looking up titties.
No, I literally...
on Wikipedia.
I was like, the first one might be me. I don't know who's looking up the second one because they were all like, it's like 12-year-olds got a hold of Wikipedia. And I was like, no, I'm I'm literally on the page for reproduction, but I'm doing, let me cook.
Well, so then on this page I learned about the Zeltrons, which are a near-human species with pink skin who are famous for their transient sexual relations, in quotes, that many looked down on them for. They had no cultural shame around sex, it's just interesting because it's very evident that in the galaxy far, far away, human sexual culture and values are like pretty comparable to what, at least I grew up in the Northeast of the United States sexual culture, which is very much like people do fuck, but they're weird about it.
Yeah.
And they don't talk about it. And there's also very much like, it's a lot more normal for like men or like normal quote unquote, whatever the fuck, for men to have transient sexual relationships before they end up with their like final life partner. But like if a woman does that, like that marks her.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah, that's just life. And which sort of goes into like Corran's inner monologue about...
Start fucking kids. They don't care.
What?
Kebs don't care.
I thought you said kids. And I was like, what?
Kebs.
Kebs.
French Canadians.
Yes.
I have never seen a group of people care less.
That's outstanding.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
I don't know what the church did here.
Yeah.
But it was incorrect. They did not do a very good job.
No, you gotta get that good old fashioned Puritan culture in you. Really gets in your blood and makes you weird. Anyway.
Couldn't be me.
No.
I'm allegedly Hungarian.
What do you...
Oh, I sent that in the group chat, I thought.
Oh, I don't know how to read.
The member support group.
I love that group chat.
And then I was like, God, I think I'm fucking Hungarian because my grandmother's dad is literally from Hungary.
That's crazy.
But it was Big Hungary, so
that's
who
fine.
knows?
Yeah, Big Hungary, not your fault. Yeah. And also in this book, I don't know why I felt this to be worth noting, but in comparison to other Star Wars books where not a single neck is licked, 2 necks being licked felt worth noting. Also because I feel like in other books that I've read where like people kiss, like the specific act of like a neck being licked is like generally not included. And I feel like it's like somehow...
Maybe it's his thing.
That was what I was thinking. I was like, Michael A. Stackpole.
A freak.
You want your neck licked, bitch?
No, because I think... Give me 1 second. Sorry. You're coughing anyway.
Yeah.
Hello. Book 3 of the Han Solo trilogy. Rebel Dawn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like being like, oh my god, there's so much neck licking. It's like, wow, I just read Aaron Alston's Race Squadron trilogy. Why aren't there as many suicide jokes in other Star Wars?
Yeah, literally.
Sorry, I have annotations in them. Which means I probably underlined where they had sex.
Tight. Yeah. No, but while you do that, I'll just list the 2 instances. There's Rasati and Nawara at the cantina, which I love that like she licked his neck in defiance of the stormtroopers like talking shit to her about like sleeping with a non-human. Quote, she snuggled tighter beneath Nawara's brain tail and flicked her pink tongue salaciously over the gray flesh of the Twi'lek's throat. And then Corran and Arisi, after she broke off their kiss, arching her head back, he traced his tongue from the hollow of her throat to her earlobe.
Hot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No.
I mean, we do get masturbation in the holiday special. Sorry.
This is true. We do get masturbation in the holiday special. That was wild. Also, like, Corran's reflections. Yeah? Go ahead.
Talk of assassination attempts.
I don't know.
Oh, no. This is the chapter where he calls her a whore.
Oh.
I heard you give no quarter to slavers. When do they fuck? Okay, they're on Nar Shaddaa.
Which book is that in?
This is in Rebel Dawn. It's
on
page...
Oh, you found it. Okay.
310 of the mass market copy. Han tossed the coin over his shoulder, and in one lunge he pulled Bria into his arms. He kissed her with all the pent-up passion of the past days, and all of those lost years. Kissed her mouth, her forehead, her hair, her ears. And then there's an ellipses for some reason. And then returned to her mouth. Finally, when he raised his head, he breathed. I say, the heck with business, right? And then it immediately goes into a fade to black. And then on the next page, hey, she said quietly, good morning. It's good, all right.
Lol.
He said quietly, the best in a long time. 10 years, I think, from the last time they had sex. Did I tell you last night that I love you? She murmured, kissing the back of his neck. You need a haircut.
Hilarious.
So I guess there is more neck kissing.
Yeah.
But this is also written by a woman. So, like, the kind of...
thing, yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense. Well, the next thing I was gonna say was Corran has thoughts and feelings about why an individual should have sex. Mostly that it should not be for fun. And despite seeming to have a history that makes it seem like he thought he was working for Corsex. Ha. It's a pun. It's a bad pun. But...
I'm so happy we ended space racism, and also I love nutting in my wife.
Literally.
Also, I don't want... Like, okay, so you have that. Where it's like, he's like, I don't want kids.
Mm-hmm.
But Mirax wants kids.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a fucking boomer.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know how birth control works in Star Wars. I don't know if anyone knows.
Not that kind of movie, I guess.
No, and I think it's so... Like, the way he literally just gets up and is like, I can't have sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go on a walk.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just fucking wild.
Yeah. No. It's also really just an interesting addition to his characterization as a just deeply conservative individual. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
that doesn't want kids.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
So fascinating.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that he's got this friend and former partner against crime, not partner in crime, Ayala Wasiri. They work together at Coruscant.
With her sugar daddy husband, Derek.
I find them so interesting, but
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I'm so anti the, like, this is gonna show how terminally online I am in fan spaces. I, like, can't with the fucking age gap discourse in general, but also in relation to, like, fictional media.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Gavin and Asir Sylar.
Yeah.
We should talk about how that's grooming.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more obvious in the next book.
Because he's a lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a baby.
Yeah.
He's like 17.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the age of majority is in Star Wars. I don't know if it varies from species to species.
I don't know.
Because, like, Grogu, not mentally capable.
Isn't Grogu like 100 years old, but is
yeah,
baby
but
still?
is also a baby.
Yeah. This happens. But age gap discourse, like, what are people saying that, like, the age gaps are not good?
Or
or
that age gaps are inherently bad and that
What?
there shouldn't be... There's also people who, like, would really hate Star Wars fanfiction with wondrous tags like sibling incest platonic. People put Luke and Leia in weird situations.
No.
And so does Alan Dean Foster in Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Because they didn't know. So there is a weird...
Mm-hmm.
Like, George Lucas didn't know they were going to be siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, and there's, like, that kind of, like... Have you heard of anti and pro-ship discourse?
No.
Okay. So people who are pro-ship are just like, okay, it's fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's fictional media. You can torture people in fanfic. That is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to depict things like sexual violence, which I would agree with. I think it's important to, because I think when you don't talk about these things, people don't understand.
Yeah.
And they might not be able to articulate what is happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as someone who's very, like, pro sex education, like, I think we should discuss the ramifications of sexual violence in both, like, educational and fictional settings, so people, like, know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also, like, weird shit about, like, oh, wow, this character, I saw this Han Leia fic where they de-aged Han to be 23 at the beginning of A New Hope, which makes no sense. Because the whole point is that he's a 30-year-old drug dealer.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucked a 30-year-old drug dealer. It's a canon event. Not all of them are as hot as Harrison Ford, but it is a canon event. And, like, the anti-ship stuff, it's mostly teenagers. It's the same kind of people that are like, the age of consent should be 25. You are so offline. I have not been on Twitter in so long, and I know of this. Because it pisses me off to no end. There is a group of people on the internet that think that the age of consent should be raised to 25 because your brain is done developing at 25.
That's bullshit.
That's stupid.
Get up. Like,
yeah.
Is this a new discourse? Like, how is this?
That's within the past couple of years.
I don't understand.
No, it's... Give me 1 second. I can... Change my view. Age of consent should be 25. This is from 2 months ago.
Huh.
In light of Megyn Kelly's recent speech, I don't know who that is, about barely legal 15-year-olds, I've been thinking of the age of consent should be raised to 25 nationally. I'm assuming that this is in the United States.
I think
and
Megyn
then they
Kelly
have
is the bitch from Fox News.
absolutely insane Romeo and Juliet provisions, where if 14 to 16, 15 to 17, 16 to 19, 17 to 20, 18 to 22, 19 to 24, 20 to 29, 21 to 29, 24 to up to 24 to 29.
Like, what does that mean? Like, they can...
Romeo and Juliet laws basically are provisions within age of consent laws. So if two teenagers have sex with each other, they don't go to prison. Not every state in the United States has them. Quebec does. I think all of the provinces do in Canada. I could be wrong. But that's the whole thing with, like, that one Tyler the Creator song off Cherry Bomb. Because whichever fucking Jenner that was about was, like, 17. And in California, I don't think they have Romeo and Juliet laws, and the age of consent is 18.
How old was he?
He's in his 30s now.
Yeah.
That came out a decade ago. I think he was 21 when Goblet came out.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Bomb came out.
2015.
Goblin came out in 2011, so he's probably like 24.
Yeah.
Top comment. I just think it's funny that when you're 18, you're old enough to go to war, but not old enough to drink beer or have sex. As the law is now, at 16 or 18, depending on the state, you can sleep with someone who is 105 years old, but you can't drink. How does that make sense? The reason that age of consent laws are the way that they are is because teenagers have sex.
Yeah.
Why not prevent a 40-year-old from having sex with an 80-year-old? They're clearly in different stages of life and development. Under your proposal, a 24-year-old would be legally precluded from having sex with a 30-year-old. How is that any benefit to society? It's a benefit insofar as it empowers 16-year-olds to make decisions for themselves. I think granting autonomy is always a benefit.
That's crazy.
But 25, to me, that's too far. It's far too infantilizing to the point where you are denying autonomy. Why do you think globally the countries with the highest ages of consent are the countries with lower standards of living that have arbitrary, homophobic or misogynistic applications? For reference, the only countries with ages of consent over 18 are Bahrain, only if unmarried, if married at 16, Benin, only if gay, straight at 16, Gabon, only if gay, if straight it's 18, Hong Kong, only if straight woman, if straight man or gay man / woman it's 16, Madagascar, only if gay, if straight it's 14, and Nigeria, only if gay, if straight it's 13. Every other country has their laws set at 18 or younger from what I could find. But there is like a group of people who believe that the age of consent should be 25.
I think they should all be shot.
I think they should be shot too.
I feel like that might be an overreaction, but that's how I feel.
No, it's like there's like really weird purity culture where they like cannot fathom that like anyone before their mid-20s. Kid, you're 24. You're going to be 25 soon.
Yes.
Which means I guess you'll be over their arbitrary age of... Can you imagine being told by the government that it is illegal to have sex until your birthday this year?
That's
Because literally all it does is it enables rapists to sexually assault people and then have them not report it because they're ashamed.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's just not what you want.
Nope.
Is it?
No.
But it's also like seems like pretty antithetical to what I think they're trying to get at.
Well, no,
know?
they like don't. They're like...
Or are they just like so divorced from reality?
I think they're just so like... I think it's like a Puritan... weird purity culture thing. Where like, because they can't see themselves doing it, they can't fathom anybody else ever doing it.
But like, then just mind your own business about it. I don't know.
No, because they have to get involved in people's lives. I mean, they're literally trying to claim that the government should regulate whether a 24-year-old can consent to sex, which is...
I feel like I can.
Yeah, probably. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
I guess I'm older than 25 now.
You are, yeah.
But I've been dating my partner since... I'm really bad at dates. The first time the first date we went on, which was not really a date, I went to his work and then had a beer at his work. That was in 2021.
So that's 5 years ago, depending on the month.
It was December. It was like 2 months after I moved here. Or a month after I moved here.
Wow.
Which, should I have done that? Maybe not. But I was in a new city and I was bored. And I had just broken off a relationship that I had been in for several years and then was just sticking around. Yeah. And now I'm getting married.
Live, laugh, love.
If the age of consent was 25, that wouldn't happen. I
would have been
sad and alone.
Yeah.
Instead of pissed off with someone in my house. I'm a boomer. It's me. I'm Corran Horn.
No. Maybe we all have a little bit of corn. It's like, we all want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But everyone has a little bit of Darth Vader inside of them.
It's not... Yeah. Anyway, well, speaking of being in people's business, Corran Horn. Gavin approaches him as an elder individual, a trusted man that he knows. He can't, who else is he going to ask, I guess? Maybe Wedge. Hey, Commander Wedge Antilles, I have a question about...
Where's Wes Jansen when you need him?
Literally. Oh, Wes Jansen would be the guy for this, low-key.
Yeah.
No, because I also think he would have been way more fucking normal about this than Corran.
You can do whatever you want, dude.
Literally. Anyway, so Gavin approaches Corran being like, hi. So, I have a question about, And then Corran thinks to himself, man, people either are that sideways asking a question when they're asking about killing or sex. And Gavin has killed, so he's definitely asking me about sex. And it turns out Gavin is curious about whether it's possible for there to be interspecies relationships.
Yes.
Is that how he frames it? Yeah. And
also, importantly, Gavin might have had sex with his cousin.
how did you extrapolate that?
He's not related to everyone in Anchorhead. It's a thing. Because he's like...
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the book pulled up?
Yeah.
Just look up Anchorhead. Because that is, I think, almost a direct quote.
Mm-hmm. No, I like having the job of... Also, I love this information about how education works on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
On Tatooine, well, in Anchorhead, well, in the area around the farm, it was small, and so we didn't have a school in the way you did on Corellia, see? We all took classes via local HoloNet and sent lessons in on data cards, Corran asks, Gavin, are you trying to tell me you don't know how to kiss a girl? Gavin frowns. Anchorhead may have been small, but not that small. Kin don't count, Corran says. Gavin blushed. I wasn't related to everyone around there,
That's how I extrapolated that. Is that he has had sex with human women, but not non-human women.
Yeah, but when him saying I wasn't related to everyone around there, like
the closest major town
uh-huh.
to him is Anchorhead.
Uh-huh.
And then Corran responds, kin don't count.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, I'm not related to everyone. That is not saying no.
I guess it's not saying no.
It's not saying no. It's not saying yes, but it's also not saying no, which is why I said he may or may not have done that.
I see.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Was accused of.
Mm-hmm.
At least kissing, if not maybe sleeping with his cousin.
Well.
It's also a very Tatooine thing to do. There's not many people there.
It's true.
That's why they're also weirdly overrepresented.
Yeah. They are really
There's
weirdly
like 7 people on Tatooine. No. They're all in the Alliance. And Huff Darklighter controls the weather.
Yeah. And then he's basically asking like Corran, like, do you know anyone who's ever like any interspecies relationships? And then Mirax and Ayala walk up, and Ayala's like, "What's the question?" And like Corran and Gavin are like, "Well, Gavin wanted to know whether or not I knew anyone who'd had an interspecies relationship." And then Ayala's like, "Oh boy, do I have the story for you?"
You do know.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
And
I just got done hanging out with my new best friend,
Mirax
Carrick. Because I'm not weird. Because Ayala is so not weird about Mirax.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, she's totally normal.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm being 100% serious.
Yeah, no.
I'm being sarcastic in so far as it relates to Corran's characterization.
Yeah. No, because like Corran's just sort of like, there's a coven. These women are talking. No, the women are talking. Fuck.
We need to stop this. We should cut out their tongues.
Literally. Oh, but then how's Mirax gonna lick his neck?
That's only something you do when you're in
a
disgusting interspecies relationship.
Licking necks?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Or if you're gross and your name is Arisi Delaret.
Yeah. That's how you know she's a spy.
Oh, I forgot to say, Boba Fett is anti-premarital sex.
The character?
Mm-hmm.
How do we learn this?
Let me look it up
on
my phone. Boba Fett sex. Hopefully that doesn't... That did pull up a bunch of weird shit I didn't want. Premarital. Thank you. Allow ads. Shit. TV Tropes doesn't. In Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Boba Fett decides not to sexually assault Leia because premarital sex is immoral.
You're kidding.
Yeah, Boba, that'd also be literal rape. I mean,
good God.
Leia even says it in the next line, so is rape.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that rape is not real in Star Wars, but it is.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Vader
Didn't he have a kid at 17?
Boba Fett?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I learned...
There's an archive of our own tag. Boba Fett is not against premarital sex this time.
Tough.
That's crazy. Sorry, I need to screenshot this.
So, turns out, Corran Horn has fucked the world's hottest otter.
Her name's Turtle.
Mm-hmm.
She has a name.
It's important to name her. She's important. But...
He's also allergic to her.
Yeah.
Which I think
It's true.
informs his, like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Because, like, the one time.
Because, yeah. Which
like,
also, like, I feel like he's just really not...
And also,
can't be that good at data collection if you're making an assumption based on...
one data point.
One, that is anecdotal evidence.
And then literally Ayala is like, when I tell you, Turtle was the baddest baddie ever seen. Like, Ayala has no qualms.
Mm-hmm.
How did she work with this man? I think I would have shot myself.
Literally.
She's like, no, she looked so good. She had this fantastic dress.
Mm-hmm.
It was like bespoke. Da.
Mm-hmm.
And Corran took her to the dance because everyone else was being really weird and racist. And it's like, well, he's really weird and racist. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Did he become really weird and racist after you guys, like, stopped working together?
Maybe.
Don't.
But then the whole time, like, while... or, like, before Ayala launches into this story, like, Corran is, like, worried about how Mirax is gonna take this.
Yeah, it's very...
Which is very, like...
Which, like, Mirax has never given any indication she cares.
Yeah.
Also, they get fucking married, so...
Yeah.
It didn't affect her that much.
No.
Also, like, not everyone is as weird as him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does he have all these really weird sexual hang-ups?
It's really fascinating. I don't know. Well...
But also Noir and Rosati.
That's
Holy
important.
Fuck. I know we already talked about it, but I want to talk about it again. Holy shit.
Okay, do it.
I love them. To my knowledge, this is the only time where there's an interspecies relationship where the male is non-human, both in canon, like current canon, and the EU continuity. I have so many thoughts and feelings about that. Most of them revolve around the fetishization of black women and the kind of, like, comparison between the exploitation of black women in Return of the Jedi and the fact that the woman who plays Ula in Return of the Jedi is black. But yeah, so, like, you have Kanan and Hera in canon. That's, like, the big one. And it's cute, but, like, there is that kind of idea that, like, Twi'lek women are sex slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Twi'lek women are, like, seen as only sexual objects. And then in the Clone Wars, you have a clone and Twi'lek woman relationship, and they have hybrid children, which do not look like Hera's kid. Like, they are, like, legit hybrid kids, which is an interesting look and was probably fun to animate.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, every other Wedge and Quizooks,
Corran and Turtle,
Gavin and Asir. I'm trying to think if there are others. Oh, wow.
Yeah?
That scene where Boba Fett is like, sex between those not married is immoral, happens in Jabba's palace.
Oh, God.
Human species, and this is canon, Star Wars, was able to interbreed with Koyanite, Ichani, Pharaohan, Hamadryas, Kifar, Mikula, Nagai, Sith, Thelan, Twi'lek, and another number of other species. And then Zabrak are also that. You cannot have sex with a Tusken Raider.
According to ladygeekgirl.wordpress.com, Ahsoka Tano and Lux Bonteri have a fling. Hondo Onaka and Aura Singh used to date.
Yeah, but Aura Singh I don't think is a human.
Yeah.
These are the human Twi'lek children from Clone Wars.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. But I guess it's probably against the law to put a child actor in that.
Yeah, this is a person wrote an article about...
Aura Singh is a near human hybrid.
Ah.
But not human.
Mm-hmm. It's like this lady wrote an article about given how many different species there are in the galaxy far, far away, how it's interesting that there is such little intermingling as she would expect.
Allegedly, there's interspecies relationships in the Hud Gambit and Rebel Dawn. Don't remember those.
Indeed, I discovered while researching this that the Star Wars universe does carry a rather unhealthy amount of xenophobia. Yeah.
Michael A. Stackpole and Aaron Alston said that humans and Twi'leks were genetically incompatible. However, Star Wars, the Clone Wars character encyclopedia directly contradicts this. Thank you, spacebattles.com. Kevin and what's-her-face, Bothan.
Oh, there's Dia Pasek and Dia and Face. Twi'lek
but that's
and
a
human.
Twi'lek woman.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
human man.
I know. I'm not saying that as a counterpoint. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just trying to. I'd be more concerned with the thousands of alien VDs. That's how you know this form is from 2008. Bird flu. Now imagine the avian race you're actually fucking instead of just being around them. I'd say it's completely possible, though actual numbers can't be generated. Now they're just having conversations about flu and alien STIs.
It's fascinating.
Are there any interspecies marriage in Star Wars?
Apparently Dia and Face get married.
Cute.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Right? Cool. So, Nawara.
I need to make a spreadsheet about the interspecies relationships in Star Wars because I think they are the only one.
Yeah.
Which, like, fetishization is when we look at Return of the Jedi and we look at, I say this, like, I don't want to put a picture of him on my wall next to Ho Chi Minh. They're also the
Ula.
first.
No, that's
No.
her. That's the girl's name.
They're also the first
I know.
sexually
Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna. They are the first sexually dimorphic species introduced in Star Wars.
That's interesting.
Yes. Because humans aren't all that different. Like, they look very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, like, the way that Bib Fortuna is presented, and yes, Bib Fortuna is a pimp, and I am not, like, excusing him selling people into slavery.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he's presented is then the way that all Twi'lek men are presented.
Mm-hmm.
And there, if we look in the real world, is the way that people react when white women are, like, even approached by anyone who's not a white man. Like, you know, Loving versus Virginia was about a white man that wanted to marry a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
There is, like, a social stigma around being a white woman if you are dating someone who is not a white man. Still, not only in the United States, but in a lot of places, especially if your partner is black. And so you get a lot of, you know, you have, like, the snow bunny trope where, like, there are white women that, like, seek out black men. So in the kind of choice, especially in the Disney canon, not to portray any human women who are in, like, committed relationships or something with a non-human man, it just feels, it's giving, oh, these men are going to come in and they're going to rape the white women.
Mm-hmm.
But it's totally okay to do the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying they're doing this consciously, but there is kind of that parallel to be like, okay, so it's okay for people to fetishize black women
Mm-hmm.
or Asian women or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever. But a woman who dates someone, a white woman who dates someone who's not white is, like, betraying her race
Mm-hmm.
or betraying her species, that whole kind of thing. And that's really why I like Noir and Rosati, because A, they're very cute, and B, I think the whole, like, Stormtrooper interaction is kind of directly commenting on that,
Mm-hmm.
of, like, the why would I want to be with someone who thinks that this is disgusting,
Mm-hmm.
which I really like. It is in a very 90s way, but
Mm-hmm.
that is beside the point. And then it's just never done again.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're allowed to have human men who fuck Twi'leks
Mm-hmm.
because we can fetishize Twi'leks because it is a way to fetishize black women, essentially.
Yeah.
In a safe way, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really bothers me.
No.
That's, like, the crux of my beef with Dave Filoni, actually.
Is
like, there are several instances and stuff that he's produced where human men are in relationships with Twi'lek women, and there's just, like, nothing of the opposite. It just feels
Mm-hmm.
very fetishistic.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. It's weird in, like, a fictional universe to, like, replicate what we have in real life, but, like, without including any, like, commentary
Mm-hmm.
on how that plays out and why.
And if I remember right, like, there is some of that discourse between Dia and Face.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I mean, especially because, like, she was, like, a sex slave.
yeah.
And, like, she doesn't, I mean, I don't know, this is a later book, but
They do have conversations about
they
it.
do have conversations about it.
And it just, I don't know. Like, it just, and now that I've told you about it, every time you see any Disney stuff, you're going to be like, holy shit. This is just, like, it borderline replicates the gender dichotomy of, like, the antebellum South.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, it is okay, these Twi'lek women to, like, and it is presented as consensual. It's like, this
Mm-hmm.
just feels like you're replicating these things.
Mhm.
Like, we have moved past legally as a society, but, like,
Yeah. No,
but also then they're evil, because how dare you kill people, even if they are sex trafficking you.
literally.
So when you, like, because we can't, that's the thing, is, like, you can't divorce this from, I don't want to say Western society, but
Mhm.
Western society of, like, so, like, when you're talking about a culture, because, like, the galaxy far, far away has a slave culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like, a whole thing in the Han Solo books, because
Mm-hmm.
Bria Theron is a slave, and one of the, I can't remember what they're called, his name's Durga, I think, he wants to marry her,
Mm-hmm.
so he can, like, because they have to be married to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, like, a whole plot point, and then she's, like, really fucked up about it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is a society in which sexual exploitation exists. You are taking the one species where it is most common to have sex slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And you are just being like, well, we can just put all these women in relationships with human men.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the way that, so Anakin Skywalker's mother was enslaved,
Mm-hmm.
right, by the Hutts and then was sold to Watto.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband freed her from slavery, like purchased her, freed her, and then married her.
Mm-hmm.
That's not consensual.
Mm-mm. No.
You can't do all of those things.
No.
No. So it just really feels like they're recreating, and they're like fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels weird that this is the only one.
Mm-hmm. It does feel weird, but I'm grateful that it does exist.
And nobody writes fanfic about it.
Yep.
Nope.
Fucked up.
Not on anything.
No, because it really gives like me and the baddie I got by being autistic,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Maybe that's why he's hot.
We're very predictable.
It's me. I'm the autistic guy.
I know.
I had a mental breakdown last night about my pants because they were really staticky.
Oh no.
Oh, and I couldn't find the microphones because I wanted to charge the microphones last night, and I was like, I don't know where they are. My pants are fucking staticky, and I want to kill myself. And then I almost started crying.
That's
And then
so.
Leo was like looking up ways to make your pants less staticky because I really wanted a cigarette, but it was cold.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, and then I licked his neck.
Aw.
I didn't. No, I think Stackpole's got a thing for
Neck licking?
neck licking,
For sure.
which is fair.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
Are you allowed to email him now? Be like, hey, I think you got it.
Hey, are you? But Corran Horn has internalized space homophobia
Say more.
in relation to Mirax.
Say more.
He is so afraid that she'll find him tainted because he slept with a Solonian. Which, mind you, he's from Corellia. Solonians are also from Corellia. Presumably it's happened before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You all live there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, Corran Horn. I hate this man. And I made a list of why I hate him. And we've mentioned some of them already. But I would like to list my list. Racist. Sexist. Insecure. Kind of homophobic. We've never seen him interact with a gay man. But I feel like he'd hate him. Stupid.
Yeah.
Misinformed. He does not really grow as a character. His character arc is ending up in a Salvadorian torture prison. And, like, I find his interactions with Tycho in this book to be fucking wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I just cannot fathom how he's like, boo-hoo, I watched my dad die, to a survivor of a fucking genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Tycho was literally on the phone with his entire family when Alderaan was blown up. And he didn't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just thought that the like call cut out.
Mm-hmm.
And his fucking fiance was there. Like, he was gonna get married. And he had an entire family. And they were all murdered by the Empire. Like, how does Corran Horn categorize morality, first of all? I don't know.
Whatever his dad says.
Like, I don't know what makes him, like, say, wow, this is a good person. Because I, personally, don't think that if you're a survivor of a genocide, you really need to be nice. Because, what the fuck? And everyone's like, I've seen people, like, shit talk, like, Holocaust survivors because they're mean. And it's like, well, I'd probably be mean too.
Yeah.
To be completely honest. And, like, I just don't think that Corran has the capacity to think about anyone other than himself.
No.
Because even if Tycho had not, like, literally watched his family fucking die, he still survived a genocide that was perpetrated by his boss. Like, which probably made him feel a certain way. Because, like, there is kind of an element of, like, what's the word? Himself being a perpetrator by virtue of working within this power structure that led to the death of everyone that he loved. And I think that's kind of expanded upon, especially when Winter is like, shut the fuck up,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what should happen. But I just find him so fucking insufferable. And that is all I have to say on his interactions with Tycho, because that's really what bothers me. And then no one is, like, because then everyone's like, stop talking about him like this, and like, stop talking to him like this. Stop talking shit about him like this. His entire family is blown up. Everyone he ever knew prior to the age of 18 was blown up. He literally defected because his fucking home planet was hit by the Death Star. Oh, and Corran just had beef with Kirtan Lore. Like, he would not have left otherwise, it just really fucking bothers me.
He also wouldn't have had, like, the wherewithal to make it as far as he did without the intelligence of somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, his new identities was made for him.
Yeah.
His exit plan was made for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Gil Basher, like, sacrificed himself so that Corran would live.
And Ayala.
And Ayala.
Which Ayala seems
cool.
normal.
Yeah.
I love when people are normal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then that's my Corran Horn hate fest.
Yeah.
But I do have a funny thing that I think you would like. Is
Mhm.
Corran Horn would not know flirting if he was shot with it by an ion cannon.
It's true.
In reference to Mirax.
Yeah. No. I really like Mirax. I wish he ended up with someone who was cool. You know?
Well, he does save her.
Yeah.
He is very possessive, which I guess is good when you get kidnapped.
Yeah.
But I guess also on that note, Mirax and Arisi's beef is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Arisi is like threatening Mirax.
Yeah.
And Mirax is just hanging out. Like,
Mhm.
it is such one-sided. Like, okay, Mirax does not like Arisi. Ayala also does not like Arisi.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really seems to like this woman. She's got bad vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Corran Horn, horrible mind cop. Really ineffective. He is not good at deducing that this woman is being fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is an I hate you. I don't even know who you are vibe. A la Cassian Andor and Cyril Karn.
There you go.
Okay, so Coruscant?
Coruscant.
And then I can talk about OPSEC
Yeah.
while you talk about Coruscant.
Cool. Well, so this whole book, pretty much, takes place on Coruscant because they're trying to figure out how to take it back. And a while ago, I watched a video essay on, like, how Coruscant works, basically, and also just with also like a general history of the idea of a city planet. And I'll link the video essay in the show notes. I feel like I should say which YouTube account it is from, and what the name of the video is. It's called Can Planet Cities Really Exist? Coruscant Explained by Dami Lee. And one, obviously worth, like, she sort of talks about, like, the genealogy of, like, planet cities in sci-fi. Can't talk about this without talking about Trantor. I haven't read Foundation, but
you should.
I know.
Or you should at least watch the Apple TV show.
Yeah.
Because it's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like 1-to-1 because I think that would be fucking impossible because I genuinely think that Foundation is unfilmable, but
Mhm.
like as it stands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they do with it is really cool.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, and I like the guy who's in it because I watched a couple episodes of Pushing Daisies. I don't know. I like his face.
It's a little weird incest too.
Fun. Yeah. And so she also talks about this idea of the Ecumenopolis, which was coined by Konstantinos Doxiadis, who designed Islamabad, which is interesting. Like, because his whole thing, it was basically he had this idea of Ecumenopolis, which is a term he coined in 1942 to describe the planning of urban settlements around the logic of what an individual human needs in their daily life. And what's interesting about this video is that this, like, Dami Lee talks about how, like, although, like, Coruscant, like, is a planet city, it doesn't really, from the way she analyzes it, and, like, I do agree with her analysis that, like, Coruscant doesn't seem to be super well designed for, you know, everybody in Coruscant. There's a crazy amount of inequality on this city planet, and
Maybe that's on purpose.
Seems like it. And it's interesting, like, she does like a analysis of Coruscant the way like other YouTube channels do, like, analysis of, like, the walkability and livability of cities in, like, real life, and then she also, like, puts forward, like, proposals on, like, how to make Coruscant more livable, which were pretty interesting. I won't get into them here.
It's very Generation Tech coded.
I don't know what that is.
I feel like I've sent you some of his videos before.
Maybe.
He talks a lot about, like, let's see what he uploaded today. All of the like videos I've sent you about like starfighters and stuff, he's
Mm.
done some really good videos about like A-wings.
Mhm.
Elon Musk's chatbot has been undressing women and minors.
I saw that.
Today's Generation Tech video, did you watch it already?
Not yet.
Do you want to watch it after we're done?
Sounds good.
The rebellion was impossible without this ship, and it's a picture of the Corellian light freighter.
Mhm.
Can I do this without opening the video? Yes, I can. How the rebels built a navy inside the Empire's economy.
Cool.
The galaxy's strongest navy couldn't catch the A-wing.
Mhm.
How were the hyperspace lanes discovered?
Cool. That sounds really neat.
But he does like a combo where he like it's kind of almost in universe,
Mhm.
where he'll like talk about things like they are happening in real life, but then
Mhm.
he's also like, this is just like Toyota.
Mhm. Yeah, that's pretty much like what she does here too, and like she also like links it to like I don't know, like the connection between 20th century sci-fi and like 20th century ideas of the design of cities,
Mhm.
and how in a world where the population had just grown more than ever, how architects were thinking of how human settlement will function once the population gets as big as it does. And so like Doxiadis, like thinking about this, tried to conceptualize how a global city could like possibly be livable, and so she applies these ideas to Coruscant, and that was pretty cool. And I read one of like he wrote this article on Ecumenopolis, which he calls it's like the science of human settlements, and it's a really interesting read because it feels like a quasi mystical text because he's really trying to like come up with just a unifying meta narrative science for how to make human like it's really like a lot about like how architecture impacts human quality of life.
Okay.
Which was something I also was doing a little bit of reading on when I went to DC in January, where I texted you about this. I was really taken by the design of the DC Metro.
Yes.
It's so cool. I really want to say like I forget the guy who designed it, but he basically there was going to be like a highway system in DC instead of a metro, and he was like, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah, I can't imagine how horrible that would be.
Absolutely terrible. So shout out that guy, and the design of it is I don't know. I used to be a brutalism hater. Now I'm a brutalism apologist. I've decided I like brutalist architecture.
I like it sometimes.
Yeah, it can be really either. Okay, here we go. Caveat: it can either be really bad or really good.
I'm really into that like fuck ass 1970s. Everything is brown and made with brick again for some reason.
Yes,
that's
good stuff.
Bread and butter.
I think because what I also like the commitment to like capsules in brutalism, and I don't know. It's also just sort of like it's very Bauhaus, which
it's really your vibe.
Yeah, and I don't know. But then I just Googled Planet City. And the first thing that came up with it was this interdisciplinary project by this guy, Liam Young. And I don't know. I watched his TED Talk, and his whole thing is imagining, like, what if we push the entire population of the Earth into one big city, which is kind of interesting. And then you remember that would essentially involve ethnic cleansing on a massive scale. And that made me angry. But then I got less pissed off when he clarified that his idea was a thought experiment, not a proposal. But I was still pissed off. Because also he proposes that if humans all lived within this city, then national identities would disappear, which is kind of insane because there's animosity between different neighborhoods in cities in real life. Like, I don't live in Boston anymore, but I hate people from West Roxbury. Like, West Roxbury has bad culture. Mostly because it's where all the racist Irish cops live. I'll say that again. I think his idea that national identities and, like, interpersonal strife would disappear within if human settlement was like condensed into a city.
How do we get food?
Great question.
It's the real question.
It is the real question.
Because like that's the whole thing with Coruscant.
Yeah.
And this is something that like I guess Generation Tech they talk about a lot. Where like the galaxy far, far away is a hyper specialized. I mean, in the way that like the world currently is hyper specialized, where like Russia invaded Ukraine and nobody stopped buying wheat from Russia because they don't grow wheat in Europe anymore outside of Russia or outside of Ukraine. And, everybody's still buying gas from Russia. Turkey will not stop buying natural gas from Russia because they cannot access it by themselves. And they really want that gas in the Mediterranean Sea. But NATO getting that would go really badly.
Mm-hmm.
PR disaster. And also, it's kind of more money than it's kind of more work than it's worth. Fracking is expensive.
Yeah.
But no, like, how would you get food? Would you have people doing farming still?
His idea was to condense the entire global population into one city, and then like the rest of the world would be like.
Who's working it?
Great question.
Robots?
I don't know. Yeah.
Wild.
I don't know. Maybe like I am giving him like a short shrift because I like just watched the TED Talk and I didn't go super deep into it, and like I think it was like supposed to be more of like an art project and thought experiment rather than an actual proposal. And like his I think the actual kernel of his argument is interesting and worth engaging with, which is like putting a story, like narrativizing ways to imagine our way out of climate change is an important side to advocating for the science of climate change.
Science communication.
Exactly.
Which they're really bad at.
Huh?
Which people are really bad at.
Yeah.
It's like a famous thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's an entire job.
Yeah.
It's Hank Green's entire job.
Yeah. And I don't know, but also I don't. But yeah, as I was saying, it is a little bit wild for him to think that he was imagining a world that this would introduce.
I mean, he's trying to present an alternative to fascism.
Yeah. Which is a good
this
thing.
Shit came out in 1942.
You're talking about Asimov?
When you say, well, Ecumenopolis was
Yeah.
coined the same year Foundation started out.
It was. But
and then so he coined that term. So it seems like he is in trying to make these in this thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, what are you doing?
Sorry. So there's the guy with the planet city is Liam Young, and that's different from Constantine Doxiadis.
I don't think you said that.
I didn't say that. My bad. Well, I'll say this now. Liam Young's Planet City thing is different from...
That's good to know.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm also... Okay, so, Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the infrastructure, can I be annoying for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go? Okay, so, as you say, almost the entire book takes place on Coruscant. What I find very interesting is the way that they go about infiltrating a foreign adversary. Because, and I'm just going to talk about other books and TV shows, and shit, is, not to bring up the Americans, but genuinely one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. I love them. Also, the diplomat is Kerry Reese. She's great in it. And the guy that plays, you wouldn't know this, you don't watch period dramas like that, Rufus Sewell. But The Americans is a TV show about a family that the parents are fucking KGB agents, and they are tasked with going to the United States and like portraying being a couple. And it's very grandiose, and they like are doing all these missions and shit for the Soviets. But they are based off of a real family, I think out of Ottawa, where like when it was discovered that the parents had been there since before the fall of the Soviet Union, I think, but they were Russian, the kids had their citizenship like stripped. So this stuff is entirely possible, which I personally really like. But the way that and I realize this is a book, and I realize it's a book that's maybe not supposed to go into too deep about how they're infiltrating Coruscant, but it seems very easy. Like the way that they infiltrate the alien combine is so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like Asir is like, Gavin, you're a human supremacist, we're gonna cut your head off.
Mm-hmm.
Taliban style. No, I don't think the Taliban had done that yet. Because that was like 2006, I think? Or 2007? But yeah, kind of and it is also kind of reminiscent of like the Battle of Algiers.
Mm.
When they have, they infiltrate the city by wearing like chadors.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You love the Lockheed Martin IMAX theater.
I don't. It stressed me out, but it's fun.
Is it nice? Did you go into it?
I did not go into it. I took a picture of it because it just made me, like, there's in the museum for the National Museum of African American History, there's a theater that is funded by Northrop Grumman, and I was like, that's weird. But then when I was in the Aerospace Museum and everything is funded by some like weapons manufacturer or another, I was like, this makes sense. You did that. This is your museum. like this, like I know where I am, but it's also
DC's crazy.
DC's
Their airport is insufferable.
DC's crazy.
It's built on a swamp.
It's built on a swamp.
It shouldn't exist. And it's not built in a swamp in the way like New Orleans is built in a swamp.
Mhm.
Like New Orleans makes sense because it's a port city.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta put port cities in places that like don't make a lot of sense. We are literally on an island in the middle of a river.
Yeah.
But also Montreal is a major port.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing the boats.
Me too.
What if I became a person on a boat?
I think you'd be great at it.
I think I'd probably hate it actually.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Only one way to find out.
Someone put me in a submarine, see what happens.
I think
because if it goes badly, then
they'll give you a bunch of Xanax.
Give me Xanax.
Most elaborate ploy to get Xanax ever.
Joining the Navy. I don't think I can join the military because I was like, I have ADHD. Is that a problem? And he was like, not for the reserves. I was like, really?
Oh. But yeah, I thought since we're on Coruscant, I thought the Coruscant Museum was really interesting because like Wedge wanted to go there to see what lies the Empire was spinning about the rebellion, and I thought it was interesting that, yeah.
They always have his name in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he's literally in the Coruscant Museum to talk about how bad he is. And he's like, boo-hoo. Nobody likes me.
He's so mean.
Also, you sent me that picture in the Aerospace Museum. They have an X-Wing.
They do have an X-Wing in the Aerospace Museum. It's true.
I feel like that's important to note.
It is important to note.
Doing a Star Wars podcast.
We are doing a Star Wars podcast.
Realize I went on a rant earlier about the fetishization of Black women, but this is a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah. No, it's also because it was really interesting when I was in a lot of like in the last episode, I talked about the valorization of fighter pilots during World War I. I learned about that in the World War I exhibit they have at the Aerospace Museum in DC. Also learned about the use of, like, Charles, this is not related to World War I, this is related to the Apollo missions. Charles Schultz, I did not know, authorized the use of Snoopy in pro-moon propaganda. I thought that was neat. Also, yes, indeed, there is an X-Wing from the sequel trilogy. It is Poe Dameron's X-Wing that is just in the Aerospace Museum, and they also have like a little plaque that is impossible to distinguish from the other normal plaques they have about like other specs of planes they have in the museum. They're just like the T-84. I don't know what the numbers for the X-Wing is.
It's T-70.
The T-70 X-Wing. All this information about it. I was like, wow, it's like it's a real plane. Look at that. Wow.
I've been reading a lot about Buzz Aldrin
being
an alcoholic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why he didn't get to go on the moon first.
Really?
They didn't want an alcoholic from New Jersey to be on the moon first.
It's fucked up. I learned.
So instead they picked Neil Armstrong, who is from Ohio, taught at UC.
Yeah. I watched the like documentary from the 80s For All Mankind over break. And I learned that what Buzz Aldrin's words when he stepped on the moon. Because Neil Armstrong, we all know, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Buzz Aldrin, notably shorter than Neil Armstrong. So he said, might have been a small step for Neil, but it's a tall step for me. Which I think is great. Because he was basically like, no one's going to give a shit what I say. I'm the second guy who walks on the moon. They won't remember that.
No, it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want him, because he like was, I mean, they obviously had conversations about it because it's a very planned mission. I'm so happy we're going back to the moon this year. I'm so excited. I'm so hyped. Sorry, now I'm just distracted by how excited I am. We're going back to the moon this year. I need a second. I'm so hyped. I get NASA emails.
Hell yeah.
In addition to my Library of Congress emails. Which have not gotten any less normal. Like, they're still very normal.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Sorry. There's also a bunch of stuff that has been happening on Mars, which I'm very excited about. Speaking of space.
What's going on with Mars?
They found, well, we need to like somehow collect it and bring it back to Earth so we can test it. But they think they found soil samples that have higher proportions of like the carbon-12, like lower isotopes of carbon, which would be indicative of at least single cellular life.
That would be so cool.
I know.
Wow.
And eventually, once they figured out that there was or was not, it won't be a surprise.
Yeah. Very cool.
Space is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, we're going downhill.
Real quick on Kessel, like, First of all, in canon, Kessel is round and not oblong, which I think is an L choice.
Isn't it asteroid?
They keep calling it a planet, but I don't know the definite, like, does a planet need to be round to be a planet? Feels like not my business.
I do want to tell you this random highlight I have. Doesn't
Yeah.
say who he is, but he classified people based on their species, the amount of interest they showed in him, and the kind of hunches he got when he looked at them.
That sounds like Corran Horn.
It does sound like Corran Horn.
Who else would that be? Who else would say
know.
something so crazy?
You see, Corran, few are the men who allow their emotions to have part in their decision-making process. Most are expediently logical. Emotions motivate them but do not guide them. With most men, there would be no hesitation. If emotions were going to come into play, it would be afterward. Your ability to factor your emotions into your choices ahead of time makes you rather unique and worth pursuing. I disagree.
Yeah,
I think all of these highlights might be about Corran.
Yeah, well, that's like Irisi just glazing him.
I know.
Yeah.
But the way that the first half of it is, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no.
I also love that Bosk killed his dad. Speaking of glup shittos. Also, Wedge is egotistical. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah. I think Wedge is a really interesting, case study in being egotistical and also hating yourself.
Wow, he's just like you.
He's literally me. Yeah.
What does that make me?
Does that make you?
Yeah.
You mean Tycho.
I feel like I'm not cool enough to be Tycho.
You're cool enough to be Tycho.
I feel like I'm Wes. I mean, I do too, but it's fucking Wes. I'm just a 12-year-old boy trapped in an adult human's body.
I don't know.
Kessel.
Huh?
Kessel.
Okay. I'll just say this one line so that we can just move quicklier. Quicklier. Because I can just put this anywhere. I can maybe just like move this up to what doesn't fucking matter.
Just say it.
I'll just say it. It seems like I just don't feel like the New Republic seems. I guess they have a lot going on, and they're not. Maybe they're not the New Republic yet, but it doesn't seem to be that much of a concern for them. Because I think I said this at the end of last episode, but it didn't make sense. I just said it anyway. Doesn't seem to be that much of a concern for them. That there are political prisoners on Kessel that probably are sympathetic to the rebellion and like didn't do anything wrong except for like thought crimes. Also like penal colony bad ?
Well, it's either that or the torture prison.
Yeah, which there's gotta
I'd rather go to a penal colony.
I would rather go to a penal colony too, man, but it really seems like
Australia seems like a hellscape though.
It really does. Like I feel like Kessel is to Mon Mothma as Guantanamo Bay is to Obama.
Wasn't it under Obama that Canada killed that teenager at Guantanamo?
I have no idea.
Guantanamo Bay. None of those words are spelled right. Not even Canada. Canadian detainees at Guantanamo Bay. The United States DoD acknowledges 2 Canadian captives in Guantanamo, 2 teenage brothers, Abdurrahman Kadir and Omar Kadir. Approximately half a dozen men who lived in Canada, either as refugees, candidates for citizenship, or illegal immigrants. Well, there was another guy. This was 2022. Mohamedou Ould Salhi, former Guantanamo Bay prisoner, wrote a book in 2016 and is suing the Canadian government for $35 million and for its alleged role in his torture. And one of the Kadir brothers, hello Amnesty International, Omar, who is a Canadian citizen, was captured in 2002 because he was a child soldier, which, like, yeah. And then he was kept in Guantanamo Bay for a decade. And in 2003, Canadian officials visited and interrogated him. And he had been subject to sleep deprivation techniques and declared an enemy combatant. It was a whole thing. But Guantanamo Bay regularly violates international law.
Yes.
And Section 7 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So, can't torture people. It's actually against Canada's constitution. Yeah. So, I mean, like, allegedly there still might be Canadians in Guantanamo Bay. Yeah.
That's wild.
That's a whole thing.
No.
But also, like, during the AIDS crisis, that's where they quarantined people who were coming from countries that had high transmission rates, which is A, kind of homophobic, B, shitty in general, but, like, I don't know, they did weird shit during COVID too. They do.
Yeah. I feel like, I guess the point that I was trying to make with that is I just feel like the New Republic not giving that much of a shit about people on Kessel, I feel like is just one of the many ways that the New Republic just doesn't seem to try that hard to just distance itself from how the Empire
Yeah.
functioned.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Nationalism on Kessel.
yeah.
So, that'll do it for another episode of Interview with a Bothan.
Marathon record day.
Marathon record day. While these are coming out normally scheduled, we're going to be busy as fuck. After we are done with this, we should schedule recordings for this semester. Yeah, so next time, we're going to be covering Krytos Trap, which is the third book in the Rogue Squadron series, which is 3 out of 4, and the third book in X-Wing, which is 3 out of 10. It's going to be great. And we'll see you then. Art is by our glorious leader, Lenny Apesos. Music is by Thomas Seibel. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us or contact us on our social media, which is listed in the show notes. The stuff we reference will also be listed there. Is there anything I'm missing?
No. You're killing it.
Based. Don't forget, thought crimes can get you put away forever, even if the regime changes. Ask everyone who was put in Soviet prison camps in the 1930s.